Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Doug's Cars. This is it. Today's the big day. I am starting Wichita to RVA. I'm hitting the road right now. I just got everything hooked up, got the car warming up, and I'm about to leave my Airbnb here in Wichita and head up to Newton, which is where the Wizard has his shop, the car wizard, who worked on this car. And I'm going to try to go by there and see if I can say hello and meet him. I haven't contacted him, so this may or may not happen, but I'll at least be able to film the outside of the building, I hope. They open at 8. It's about 40 minutes from now, and it's about a 30-minute drive. So I'm hoping I'll be able to catch him before he gets busy and not interrupt his day too much. So here we go. I'm really hoping I make it. It's been running fine. I've been driving the car around a lot here in Wichita, and everything's fine. I've been driving on the highway and all, but I'm going to the right place because the Wizard knows this car, and he probably doesn't want to see it again. But here we go. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to the Wizard's I go. Hi-ho. Driving on Kellogg in Wichita. This is the main drag, and this is what the car sounds like at speed. I'm going 55 right now, morning traffic, and you know it's a convertible with a vinyl rear window, so there's always going to be a higher level of noise than you would get in a hardtop car. But this is my view for the next 1,500 plus miles. Well, I made it to Newton. I'm here at the Wizards. There's a couple cars here, but the lights aren't on yet. It's just before 8, which is when they open, so maybe they're in the back, and the front hasn't been open yet. They haven't turned the lights on. So I'm hoping that they'll be pulling in shortly. Oh, he is. Very nice to meet you.
Yes,
you worked on this car. I'm driving that to Virginia. You think that's a good idea?
I think it'll make it fine.
I think so too. It's driving great. So, and I know you did a lot of work on it.
Yeah,
so.
We did a lot of work on that one, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to be doing some more. I think so. It's developed a scrape sound when I drive. It's probably, I think it might be a stone stuck in behind the brake shield or something.
It could be, yeah.
Which I've had before on BMWs. So, anyway, great to meet you and be here. This is just like, I've been watching your videos. I've been watching, you know, JR's, Tyler's, and all that. So,
cool.
JR's like, maybe he'll let you see the EXP. So, I don't know.
Yeah, you come out, look at everything.
That'd be awesome.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, as I accost you first thing in the morning. Sorry about that, but I'm on my way out of town.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The DeLorean.
Right.
They picked me up in the Phantom. I forgot to bring some Grey Poupon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
The EXP's pretty much done.
Very nice. Yeah, he was saying you might have it running by the time I got here, but not quite, I guess.
I got a cap and a rotor to put
yeah,
on
so
it.
yeah, so that's
And then,
nice.
Yeah, I think we're done with it.
Oh, your caddy. That's so cool.
Yeah. The old Cadillac.
And fun. Wow. This is just like, I've been like fanboying the whole time I've been here. It's just been great the whole weekend.
Yeah, cool. Well,
cool.
we're getting about halfway done back together with it. And trugging along.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Well, that was awesome, folks. I met the car wizard, got the quick tour of the shop. I mean, I totally caught him unaware, and I apologize if you ever watch this, David, that I did that, but like I just happened to be coming here, and I just wanted to stop by and there's someone pulling in here. I just wanted to stop by and see the place. I didn't even know if he'd be here, just to see the outside of the building, just for fun, just because I'm here. I mean, I'm not in Kansas every week, and the fact that I was only a few miles out of town, managed to get myself a Car Wizard t-shirt, go buy one from him. That's the least I can do for stopping in and bothering him and having him show me all of the things that he's working on for Tyler. So with that, the trip continues. I think the next stop shall be Kansas City, and maybe after that, St. Louis. We'll see. Driving northeast of Newton, Kansas here in this crazy fog alongside a railroad track that I just passed an immense, long freight train. It's really cool. It's just going to be like this for a long time. And those Bosch Icon wipers I got yesterday, the O'Reillys on Webb in Wichita, worth every penny. They were on sale, which is even better, but still, 40 bucks worth of wiper blades. Those old ones were trash. These help so much. pulled over to watch JR's video of us hanging out somewhere here in, I don't know where this is. Somewhere here in Kansas. Anyway, I'm going back to the video. It's 4 o'clock. I've made it to St. Louis, Missouri, and now that this car is 21 years old, happy birthday, I've decided to take it for a beer at the Anheuser-Busch Taste Center here in St. Louis. So I know that I only have a Kansas title and it's signed over, so it might not be valid as far as identification goes. So I hope they take it, and I hope the doors are wide enough, because you know this is a pretty good sized car, really. I hope that they let us both in. If not, I'll just go in and I'll have the car's beers as well. You know. Anyway, it's been a long, rainy drive. I haven't filmed a whole lot because I've had to pay attention the whole time, and I'm glad to be out of the car for a few minutes. But it has performed flawlessly, other than some, you know, steering wheel wobble over 70. Now I'm going to put this back in the car because it's raining, and I'm going to go have a quick tour. Well, it's another morning here in lovely Peoria, Illinois. We had a bunch of ice overnight, but she fired right up and is ready to go on to the next trip. Really been running great. Not any question asked. That it just fires right up every single time and drives no questions. I've really been enjoying this trip, and you know, I've driven cars long distances before, but they're always my car. Well, okay, this is my car, but I owned the car before the long journey for the most part. I kind of get what they always talked about on Top Gear, all those episodes, when they would do crazy road trips in like really cheap cars, the 1,500 quid Porsche Challenge, when they drove across the southeast of the US in the $1,000 cars, you know, and they always were towards the end, they're like, we're falling in love with this car. Like, I kind of get that. Like, this car has some issues. It's 21 years old, but I kind of get it. Like, I have a connection to it now. I've spent that much time in it, driving it in crazy rain and for hours on end, for hundreds of miles. And I'll be doing that again today, tomorrow. So I'm gonna go get warm now. Well, here I am driving through the frozen winter wonderland north of Peoria. That rain that I drove through all day yesterday turned to sleet right when I was having supper, and I decided to stay in Peoria, even though I wanted to go a little further. My goal today is Chicago, but it was fine, and it's now just frozen everywhere, and right around 33 degrees, and it was blowing snow sideways a few moments ago. So it's been an interesting experience as far as weather goes, because this was kind of unexpected. Lots of people in ditches. I'm behind a heavy rescue truck. There was just a semi that had swung over to the side and was stuck in the ditch on the side of the road. That's why I've been going like 60. It's just coming down. I have no idea what the exterior temperature is because the sensor, I believe, is broken, but check out this sweet rotator. Those things are like $800,000 or something. Oh, it's Jamie Davis. Huh. How is that must have bought it from Jamie Davis. That's the guy who's got that show that's on Netflix that's takes place in British Columbia, which is why I was wondering why it said Jamie Davis on the side. But he had a rotator. I think he sold it on a later season of his show. So that guy must have bought it. He brought it here to Western Illinois. That's awesome. About to cross the mighty Mississippi into Iowa. Mighty Miss, the old man. Deep river, my home is over Jordan. No. Hey everybody. Well, I made it. I'm in Iowa. Car made it, no problems. Where did I go? Well, ever hear of a little TV show called Antique Archaeology? I decided I wanted to come see their place. And so I came to LeClaire, Iowa. Here's the original building. So, of course, they don't work here, except maybe for filming days. But I wanted to come here anyway and maybe buy a little souvenir or trinket. So that's a cool place. Time to get on the road and get back to Chicago. Super windy up here, but here we are. That's the Mississippi, and the bridge I just drove over a few moments ago. And over there is LeClaire, Iowa, which was the birthplace of Buffalo Bill Cody. We made it. this winter wonderland. In the distance, you can see the Chicago skyline. Wichita to RVA has made it to Chicago, and this is the McCormick Center where the Chicago Auto Show is going on right now. So I'm going to duck inside, see if I can't get a glimpse of the BMW Supra, and see what else they have on display there. I have not been to a major city auto show in many, many years, just a local one that, you know, kind of has what you see on dealer lots. So this is going to be a nice afternoon. I think you'll be enjoying that in a separate video, though, because this is the trip. That will be the auto show video. I'm in northern Indiana, and I was wondering why there was a huge delay. I just got off to get some fuel, and I'm pulling back on the highway. The wind is just absolutely whipping across the fields here and blowing snow onto the highway. I've already seen 3 or 4 major truck rollover wrecks with like 3 or 4 rotator vehicles on site, and it's just, woman at the gas station said gnarly. That's a good word for this. It is gnarly the way it's just blowing, and everyone's just having to go really slow because you can't go any faster. You'll get blown off the road, and I'm just glad that there's not a lot of traffic around me right now. And let's see, okay, 127 miles to Indy. See up here where that white Jeep is, you see the snow blowing. It's not snowing at all right now. That's just ground snow that's blowing across, which is just intense. Hello, loyal viewers. Welcome to somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. I'm outside of Columbus, Indiana somewhere, which I know from the sign now is the home of Vice President Mike Pence and Smoke Tony Stewart. Not know that. I mean, I knew they're from Indiana, but I didn't know where. So, I-65 is closed for a bad wreck. The whole interstate's closed, so I've had to come this way. I have no idea what happened. There have been signs since I entered the state that it's closed, so it's obviously really bad. It's just been a very frustrating drive today because of the weather conditions and the truckers. There's been nothing wrong, knock on wood, with the car other than it ran out of washer fluid, and I had to get new washer fluid because it was so nasty this morning. So the blowing snow was terrible. Terrifying, really, because the trucks were blowing all over too, and you can see there were at least 6 or 8 I saw had blown off the road. A couple had rolled over. But the rest of the drive, once the road got better, the truckers would just like hang out in the left lane going like 60. So you can never go the speed limit or make any good time because they would just pass like 15 trucks and you'd just be stuck behind them forever and then repeat. So it's just been a very frustrating drive today. My goal is to make it to the Maker's Mark Distillery, which is in Loretto, Kentucky. I was going to be there hopefully for the last tour, which is at 3:30, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to make it for that because of the aforementioned reasons. And wow, here's the traffic coming off the exit, the next exit towards the wreck, and it looks like there's a traffic circle coming up, which is going to make this interesting because nobody ever knows how to use those. So I'm going to tune off now so I can figure out what's going on here. Wish me luck. So I figured it might be fun to see how efficient the traffic circle actually is. Again, I'm in the middle of the heartland. We probably don't have much of these around here. I mean, and we've got traffic coming from the other direction. We're probably coming south from the wreck. And then traffic coming from the next exit down on I-65, which is backed way, way up. And that actually worked quite well. I'm thinking that, as much as I hate to say it, the people who say they're more efficient than traffic lights probably have something on point there. Well, I have made it to Kentucky. Well, as soon as I cross this bridge, that is. Ah, there's the sign. Excellent. I've actually never been to Louisville before. I was going to stop off here and have, well, it was going to be a late lunch anyway, but now it would definitely be a late lunch. But that's not happening, so I can make it down to Loretto before they close. Because I want to pick those up because that's a time crunch as to when you can pick those up, whereas I can come back to Louisville anytime and have lunch there. But I would have to wait, I guess, 7 more years, however long they age those for me to be able to do a Maker's Mark bottle. So next stop, Loretto. So the road that Google Maps took me on to get to Loretto is actually really cool. It'd be much more fun in this car if it wasn't full of spare tires and all kinds of other stuff that's just rattling around here. But everything in this car just drives well. I mean, you can tell that it was one of the best handling cars of its day. The steering is heavily weighted. It feels completely unlike what you would have in a modern, well, okay, this is relatively modern, but in a newer BMW with electric steering. And, well, looks like I'll be slowing down here a little bit. So, well, y'all, we made it to Maker's Mark. I can't take the tour because I got here too late for the last tour of the day. But again, that's not the car's fault. The car has performed very, very well. Oh, they have an electric car charger. That's interesting to know in case I ever come here in my i3. Oh wait, that'll never happen. But I am going to go in and get my bottles and then hit the road. This has been a long day and it's not over yet. Well, I spent the night at this wonderful Airbnb in rural West Virginia along the New River. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to show y'all where I've been living the last few days. So, stopped off in Chicago to pick up these snow tires and BMW wheels from a good buddy of mine. Thanks a lot, Roger and Rita. So those are 3 of those in the back seat and 1 in the trunk, and then my luggage stuffed up in the passenger seat that's folded halfway forward, and then all the stuff I bought along the way. So my seat's fine, but there's not a whole lot of room for anything else in this car. Let's go see if we can get this washed. Well, I am driving through uptown Beckley, West Virginia. They don't call it downtown, although that's what everyone else would call it. This is actually my dad's hometown. I haven't been here in more than 15 years, so I figured I would drive through and see what's going on. They've built quite a bit now. There's still a Tudor's Biscuit World, which is nice, but other than that, it still looks the same. I know the streets and I don't need a map, which is kind of cool. Car's still running fine. Unfortunately, the coin op car wash only took coins and their dollar bill changer was broken. So I actually have dollar bills for the first time since I was 20 in my wallet, but I'm not able to change them to quarters, thus I'm unable to wash the car. So I think it's going home to Virginia covered in salt, which is kind of a badge of honor at this point. I mean, I'm driving a 21-year-old BMW through some of these small towns with a Kansas temporary tag just absolutely slathered in salt, and I just know people are going, what's that all about? And that's just kind of cool. Fantastic. Wow. Thank you much.
Hey, 803.
All right.
19.
So you can keep change.
Oh, well, thanks. Need
Thank you.
anything, you let us know.
Okay, thank you much. Well, I have been wanting to come here for a long time. It's been at least 15 years since I've been to King Tut's. It's just a great place. I mean, how many? Okay, Sonic is a chain you can go to anywhere, and Checkers if they're still around, but not like this. This is a stuffed baked potato with cheese. There's no way I'm gonna be able to finish this, but I haven't had one since I was probably a teenager, and that just looks fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and eat. Thanks for watching me eat. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they said can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch your bandit run. Check out the rust on this Cleveland, Ohio Dodge Ram. Wow. I have seen a lot of rust on this trip. I'm just not used to seeing rust like that, and man, there's a lot of it. I've seen some things that should not even be drivable, but they are. Ooh, I made it back to Virginia! Yay! I made it back! At least I'm finally back in Virginia. This has been a long trip, a fun trip. I've really gotten to enjoy and appreciate this car. But I'm glad to be back in Virginia. It's only, I don't know, one more stop at Black Dog Salvage, because I've always wanted to go there in Roanoke, and then home to Richmond. Should be home in another, I don't know, 4 hours or so. and it'll just be nice to unpack the car and not drive for a little while. Well, maybe until I go to dinner. Well, y'all, I made it. Look here. The M3 made it. It has its new stablemates to talk to, but I made it. Literally, near as makes no difference, 2,000 miles. I have to do the final figures. I'll put them on the screen when I edit the video. I know that I went further than the actual distance it would be normally because I went to Chicago and did some other things, but I mean, I put new wiper blades on, these Bosch Icons, which by the way are on sale at O'Reilly's right now, and I put in some extra washer fluid that it needed and some air in this tire. And of course, I ran it through, or I did a bay spray wash this morning in West Virginia to get some of the salt off. But other than gas, washer fluid, I haven't spent anything on this. Well, wiper blades, but like, it made it no issues at all. How cool is that? So I want to give special thanks to Tyler, who has been fantastic. He was really great to meet, and he could have done this, you know, signed the title over in 5 minutes and said, you're on your way. But he spent hours hanging out with me, picked me up in his rolls, took me to his barn, to his house. It was really cool, and I can't thank Watch JR Go enough either. Just a great guy. I really enjoyed hanging out with him. We got to see his, and I got to ride in his Rampage. I got to see his EXP when I went to the Wizards. We broke bread together. It was a great time. So I just really appreciate everything he's done for me as well. I get to thank my friends in Chicago, Roger and Rita, for letting me crash with them and for giving me these awesome snow tires and wheels, and for feeding me, because I had such a horrible drive on I-65 in Indiana to make it to Maker's Mark, that they had given me some dim sum that they had made, and that was my food for the entire day. Well, and cookies, homemade cookies too. I ate dim sum, leftover, cold, and cookies in the car for lunch and dinner to get where I needed to go. So I just want to thank them very much, and thank all of you for watching, including all of you folks who have recently joined. I really appreciate it. This is a hobby and passion project for me, so I'm just very appreciative of everyone who finds this interesting. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned because more is to come. Thanks.